أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إن في خلق السماوات والأرض
إن في خلق السماوات والأرض
واختلاف الليل والنهار
واختلاف الليل والنهار
والفلك التي تجري في البحر
والفلك التي تجري في البحر
بما ينفع الناس وما أنزل الله من السماء من ماء فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وبث فيها من كل دابة وتصريف الرياح والسحاب المسخر بين السماء والأرض لآيات لقوم يعقلون. ومن الناس من يتخذ من دون الله أندادا يحبونهم كحب الله والذين آمنوا أشد حبا لله ولو يرى الذين ظلموا إذ يرون العذاب أن القوة لله جميعا
جميعا
وأن الله شديد العذاب
وأن الله شديد العذاب
إذ تبرأ الذين اتبعوا
إذ تبرأ الذين اتبعوا
من الذين اتبعوا ورأوا العذاب وتقطعت بهم الأسباب وقال الذين اتبعوا لو أن لنا كرة فنتبرأ منهم كما تبرأوا منا كذلك يريهم الله أعمالهم حسرات عليهم وما هم بخارجين من النار يا أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين إنما يأمركم بالسوء والفحشاء وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون وإذا قيل لهم اتبعوا ما أنزل الله قالوا بل نتبع ما ألفينا عليه آباءنا أولو كان آباؤهم لا يعقلون شيئا ولا يهتدون ومثل الذين كفروا كمثل الذي ينعق بما لا يسمع إلا دعاء ونداء صم بكم عمي فهم لا يعقلون يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم واشكروا لله إن كنتم إياه تعبدون إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل به لغير الله فمن اضطر غير باغ ولا عاد فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم إن الذين يكتمون ما أنزل الله من الكتاب ويشترون به ثمنا قليلا أولئك ما يأكلون في بطونهم إلا النار ولا يكلمهم الله يوم القيامة ولا يزكيهم ولهم عذاب أليم أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى والعذاب بالمغفرة فما أصبرهم على النار ذلك بأن الله نزل الكتاب بالحق وإن الذين اختلفوا في الكتاب لفي شقاق بعيد صدق الله العظيم. I want to explain about maths stretch, and then when we stop end of ayah, we practice the R's, and then med letter. What are the med letter? Waw, ya, elif. There are three letters. When they don't have any haraka, fatha, dhamma, kasra, they become med letters. And then med letters and hamza in the same word. What do we call this one? Meddi muttasil. And then med letters and hamza, they are in different words, separate words. We call them meddi munfasil. For example, and then always we meet ya ayyuhalladhina. Ya ayyuhalladhina, we practice ya meddi munfasil. And then there is another meddi lazim. For example, all of us we know غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ولا الضال. And then this is meddi lazim. Okay, med letters, and then next letter is with shadda. We have to stretch at least 2 seconds. We call this one meddi lazim. And then there is a meddi lin. For example, lila fi Quraysh, lila fi Quraysh. This is meddi lin. Or hamim. And then we have to stretch at least 2-3 seconds. The pronunciation of the letter ra is different. When we pronounce it with fatha and with dhamma, we pronounce it with full mouth. For example, shahru رمضان الذي. شهر رمضان الذي. Ru and Ra with full mouth. But if it is with Kesra, we pronounce it with empty mouth. For example, Shehri. If I say Shehri, we pronounce it with empty mouth. If the letter Ra is with sukun, we have to look at previous letter haraka. If the previous letter haraka, fatha or dhamma, we pronounce it as well full mouth, and if it is kesra, we pronounce it with empty mouth. Another point, when we met the tabi, always should be same. Sometimes, for example, it is pronounced one place qala, 1 second, some place most of people do same mistakes, longer. For example, qala yaqulu, but it is said qala, and then when it is said yaqulu, it is wrong. All of them should be same. Qala, qila, okay, yaqulu, medli tabi, all of them should be stretched in the same stretch. The letter Sad and Sin, they are different letters. Sad and Sin. Okay. And then there is the letter Dot. Lin. And then there is another letter Ta. Siratal. It is one letter like this. Dal. Okay. Sadaqa ahad. Okay, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Ha and Ha. They are 3 letters, and then their pronunciation is different. Allahu, or Allahu Hayyun Khaliqun. Allah, it is a good word. Allahu Hayyun Khaliqun Adilun Ghaniyun Hadiyah. These are, it is called halq letters, throat letters. All of them pronounced from the throat. Allah. And at the same time, these are izhar letters. And then these are Allahu Hayyun Khaliqun Adilun Ghaniyun Hadiyah. These are the attributes of Allah as well at the same time. That's enough, I want to say. There is a dua.
I didn't do any dua.
Okay, and then we learned Allahumma a'inna ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. We repeat it. Allahumma a'inna ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. The next one is Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-bukhli wa a'udhu bika min al-jubni وأعوذ بك من أن أرد إلى أرذل العمر وأعوذ بك من فتنة الدنيا وعذاب القبر. One more. اللهم إني أعوذ بك من الجبن من البخل وأعوذ بك من الجبن وأعوذ بك من أن أرد إلى أرذل العمر وأعوذ بك من فتنة الدنيا وعذاب القبر. And then other dua, it is about rain. Allahumma sayyiban nafi'an. When we want to rain is beneficial for us, we have to make dua Allahumma sayyiban nafi'an. And then another dua, it is Qur'an about our parents. Rabbirhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. We say together, Rabbirhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. And the last dua is Rabbana hablana min azwajina wa dhurriyyatina qurrata a'yuni waj'alna lilmuttaqina imama. There's another, I want to say, an extra. It is said, if you make dua, if it is said salat for our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, your dua is accepted. Okay, and then it is said like this. After dua, if you say salatu salam, we say together salatu salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad, it is said your dua is accepted. May Allah accept our dua, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. This 14. This is 14?
G14.
Yeah. This hadith is عن ابن مسعود رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم يشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأني رسول الله إلا بأحد ثلاث سيب الزاني والنفس بالنفس وَتَارِكُ لِدِينِهِ الْمُفَارِقِ لِلْجَمَاعِ. On the authority of Ibn Masud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Messenger of Allah said, it is not permissible to spill the blood of a Muslim except in 3 instances or 3 conditions. The married person who commits adultery, a life for a life, and the one who forsakes his religion and separates from the community. This is narrated al-Bukhari and Muslim. That is, the hadith is called as-Sahihain. I want to mention a few points about the hadith itself. Some hadith are to be practiced and guidance individually for a person to do, and some is for community, and some is for a country. Okay, so this hadith is related not for individual persons or for a group, but this is on the hadith has to be practiced and followed by a government. Looking at this hadith, we cannot say that because the Rasul said somebody has done adultery, we have to kill that person. This is not for us to decide. This has to be decided by a government who has power. Then the government or the ruler or the person in authority in that country will decide. Like somebody has stolen something. For stealing, the law is to cut the hand. So if you find somebody stealing in a shopping center, you cannot catch that person and cut his hand. No. This is the responsibility of the government. The case will be heard and the qazi, the judge, has to decide this is to be followed. So for this hadith, there are 3 conditions where it is lawful to shed the blood of a person. And the 3 conditions mentioned is, first one is the adultery committed by a married man. The exception is that an unmarried man, he has desires, and it is in his nature and fitra to have sexual use of his abilities. So if he is not married, he might do it, and this is not this decision made by the government or the judge because he is not married. But a person who is married, he has got a way to fulfill his desire. And despite that, instead of leaving the wife, and he goes away and have a relation with somebody else, so that person is top on the list, because this is a way to explain how the society is going to work. It has to be a decent society where a married person has to lead a married life. Otherwise, it will be people going around from one house to the other, changing their relationship with somebody else's wife. And that is going to create very bad society and create lots of problems. So this is the basis for the society itself. The second is the one who has killed a person. So in return, the blood can be taken from the second person. We think this is difficult to understand, but I discussed with a barrister, and the barrister said that the law of the land is completely different, but the Quranic law is completely just. Imagine if somebody has killed another person and he's arrested now in this country, there's going to be a case against that person. Two families are suffering. One is the person who has been killed. His family is suffering because their bread earner is gone. Second family is suffering because their bread owner is now tried and put in the prison. The law of the land here is the case is going to be heard, and that person who is a murderer is going to be sent in the prison for 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, whatever it is. So that person's family is suffering because the bread owner is now in the prison. So two people are suffering now. So Islam gives a way out. There are three ways. If a person has committed a murder, there are three choices given to us in Muslim Ummah. One is that the people can say, because we cannot bring back the life of our owner, the bread owner, but he was providing so much money for our family to sustain. We want to give a choice. You provide the necessity and the needs for our survival, and then we are going to forgive and give you your life back. So that person, for 20 years, 30 years, whatever, he is responsible to run his family's affair and the family affairs of the person who has been killed. That will be a just thing. Second thing is that they are so angry. They said that we are not going to forgive this person. This person was very beloved to us. We want to have this person's life taken away. And there have been instances here in prison when the person committed murder and he was sent to prison. The family of the person who was killed, they committed a small sin to be arrested and taken to the prison. And this has been recorded in the history that in the same prison they went, they found out and killed that person in the prison. And afterwards they say, this was the reason I committed this crime, to be arrested, sent into prison, because your government is not killing this person, I wanted to kill this person. So we have been given the choice. If this revenge enthusiasm or in the feeling of the heart of the family is so much, then they can ask, we want this person to be killed. That will satisfy our anger. The last thing is to forgive, saying that, okay, you have killed him, we can't bring him back. We are wealthy, we are going to be surviving ourselves. We don't want you to be killed or do something to you because you are the bread earner for your family. And that is the highest of the quality of the Muslim people, who after they have the choice, they forgive. The second thing is that, the third thing is that a person who has accepted Islam, being in the religion with everybody, and suddenly decided saying that I am leaving Islam and I am going to convert into something else. I want to go and worship the idols or change my religion. So that person in an Islamic government, if that is the thing, and he is causing trouble to the community, not only he has changed the religion, he is trying the other people to change, say that if you change, you will be benefited. I'm going to give you so many thousands pounds to come and join me, leave this community, Muslim community. So that's going to create a lot of problem. Because to accept Islam, La ikraha fi din, you cannot convert any person with force. Whenever a person is accepting Islam, it is our duty to explain that, is there any pressure for you to accept Islam, from your religion to Islam, to accept Islam? And if that is the case, you say you cannot accept. You have to have your own free will to accept Islam, not because somebody is forcing you to accept Islam. So when there is a freedom to accept, there is no force to accept. So why, after all these facilities, you want to change your religion? And not only change, but cause problems in the community. So these three things are given, but as I explained, this is the responsibility of an Islamic government. Individually, we cannot decide and act upon this hadith. A person seeing somebody stealing from a supermarket, you can't cut the hand of that person. If a person has committed adultery, as soon as you know that no, this person should be killed, no, it is not responsible. And somebody who has accepted Islam and suddenly changes, you cannot go and kill that person. So this hadith is there, but this is, as I mentioned, this is the responsibility not of individuals but by the government. So Allah give us tawfiq to go through the hadith and read it and go through them and understand them and act upon them. So now coming to the ayah, Imam Hasan has recited the number 164. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار والفلك التي تجري في البحر بما ينفع الناس وما أنزل الله من السماء من ماء فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وبث فيها من كل دابة وتصريف الرياح والسحاب المسخر بين السماء والأرض لآيات لقوم يعقلون. In the creation of the heavens and the earth, in the alteration of night and day, in the ships that sail the ocean for the profit of mankind, in the water which Allah sends down from the sky and with which He gives life to the earth after its death, dispersing over it all manner of beasts, in the movements of the winds and the clouds which are held between the earth and sky, surely in these there are signs of people who understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving 8 points for us to ponder upon and understand. Number 1 is creation of earth and sky. This is very, very important for us to understand what is earth and what's sky. You know, I'm not going to take a long time, but I'm going to say a few points here. The earth, you know, the earth we are living, 8,000 miles is the diameter of the earth. The moon, 2,000 miles is the diameter of the moon. The sun, 865,000 miles is the diameter of the sun. It is self-luminous star. In the sun, hydrogen is converted to helium that gives the energy, the light and the heat. The central temperature of the sun is 20 to 30 million degrees centigrade. You know, when we have like 20, 25 degrees centigrade and 30 degrees, so hot, sweating. 40 degrees, you need to have AC, you cannot survive. 20 to 30 million degrees centigrade, that is the heat, the central temperature of the sun. The heat and the light maintains the life on the earth. The light is there and the heat is there, that is maintaining the life on the earth. 1 light year is the distance traveled by light in 1 year at the speed of 186,000 miles per second. And this galaxy is how many light years? Our galaxy has 100 billion stars and our sun is but one small star in the galaxy. The nearest star to our sun is 25 million miles away. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just mentioning is sky, samawat. So we have to understand what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation is so much so. Samawati wal ard, I have described it. And the 8 points which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling is, number 1 is creation of earth and sky. Number 2, night and day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created night and day. The night and day are all different. One is gives light, the one is in darkness. One is darkness, one is light. And the second is the night is cold, the day is hot. There is coolness and heat given by two different. Sometimes they intermingle and give portion of one to the other. Sometimes the night spreads towards the daytime and the night becomes longer. And sometimes the day gives its share to the night and the day becomes longer and the night becomes shorter. So we have seen these changes. The night, the person, when he sleeps, he is as if he is dead. And this is explained in the books of hadith, that when a person dies, his soul is taken away. He is like the sleep is the sister of death. And when the time comes with that person's, the soul is kept, not returned back, and the person is dead in the sleep. But every night after we sleep, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes our soul, but return the soul back to us. Then only we are alive. So then the night and the night time is we are partially dead, and the daytime our life comes back and we are active to perform the duties during the daytime. So this is night and the day and changes occurring. The third thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned is about ship floating on the water. We see so many times, and the olden times it was the only means of transfer from one place to the other place. If you drop a needle or a coin into the water, it goes and sinks straight away. But such a huge ships you see, and then they carry tons and tons and tons of load. And this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it in a way a science to disperse the water where you can run the ship over the surface. And this was the way to transport things olden days, and even nowadays we are transporting things from one place to the other using the ship floating on the water. Number 4 is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that rain from the sky. The water is there, the dry earth is there, but the dry earth needs water for wetness. The rivers are there, but then we have to dig canals to move the water from the reservoir to where we want. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a system where He is raising the water from the surface to the skies, and then once it is transported, it is shed over the whole of the area of the earth, where it is very difficult for us to move the water from the area where it is to dry areas for the earth. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a mechanism where the water is raised in the form of air, it goes up, and from there Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is distributing the rain to the earth, to the dry earth. This is the benefit of this. Number 5 is earth coming to life after being dead. So the dry earth is dead, and this water from the clouds comes down and it gives life to the dead earth. We have seen, we plow the seeds into the soil, dry soil, and we put the water into there, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the seeds and the plants keep coming. The life comes into the world. So earth coming to life after being dead, number 5. Number 6 is the creations. The animals are all spread over the earth. Number 7 is the winds blowing and moving around. What's the purpose of the wind? First of all, the air, oxygen is there. We survive with food and drinking water. Suppose there was no air and no oxygen. We cannot survive for a few minutes. If you can hold your nose for a few minutes and stop breathing, it is very difficult. Just practice for yourself. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given oxygen freely available throughout the world. If the oxygen was not there, it was taken away, then everybody have to buy the oxygen cylinders, which we have seen people diving into the water. They have to put, because they cannot have oxygen inside the water, so they have to have oxygen to breathe in. Suppose the oxygen was taken out, then we have to go to, like petrol station, oxygen stations, you have to buy them for and store it in our house, saying that we have to breathe and the time is coming. The red point in means you have to change the oxygen cylinders to get new ones. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this wind and oxygen free for us. And the wind, it blows, and the ships, olden days the ships were used to move by the sails. The wind used to move very heavy ships from one area to the other area. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the wind to go slowly to be beneficial to us. But He can make the same wind harmful to us. We have seen tornadoes in the films, and then in countries where it has gone, it moves around and rotates, and heavy trucks are going to be thrown out from the motorways. The buildings are collapsed and taken away from there. We have seen tsunamis and calamities coming and so on and so forth. And just one point I want to mention with the wind, the blowing of the wind. Bibi Maryam, Jibreel salam comes to her and she says, I seek refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can a man come near me? He said, I am not a man, I am not a human being, I am an angel, Jibreel. I have come to give glad tidings of a son. She said, how can I have a son? I haven't got any relation, I am not married, and I don't have any relations. He said, no, but still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He came near Maryam, and I am going to tell you, He held the cuff of her sleeve and He blowed, and immediately she got pregnant. Full pregnancy, just blowing off into the sleeve of Bibi Maryam. And this is from Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem, that He blew the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that was the reason she got. Number 8, last point, is clouds suspended in between the sky and the earth. Once the water is raised in the form of clouds, it is suspended in between. Tons and tons of water. Can you imagine if the water is converted into ice? Very big mountains of ice. If your plane goes at a speed and touches that cloud, which is a mountain of ice, the plane is completely going to be destroyed. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has raised this water in the form of very fine particles, clouds, and they are floating in between the earth and the sky. When we are traveling in the plane, we come across these clouds, we pass through that, nothing happens. And there's tons and tons of water, and that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is suspending there's nothing tying from the sky, and there is no pole raised to hold these clouds. They are suspended into the vacuum area in between. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He orders, the clouds goes to spread. So I've taken a long time to explain these 8 points with the first ayah. We'll try and go quickly, inshallah. The next ayah. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَتَّخِذُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ وَلَوْ يَرَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا إِذْ يَرَوْنَ الْعَذَابَ أَنَّ الْقُوَّةَ لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعَذَابِ. Yet there are some who take for worship other objects beside Allah. They love them as they should love Allah, and the love of Allah is stronger in those who believe. But when they face their punishment, the wrongdoers will know that the power altogether belongs to Allah, and that Allah is stern in punishment. يُحِبُّونَهُ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ وَلَوْ يَرَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا إِذْ يَرَوْنَ الْعَذَابَ أَنَّ الْقُوَّةَ لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعَذَابِ. So people who worship idols, they think they are loving their gods. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that your love is nothing compared to the love for the people who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the love of mu'mineen is fearing Allah and also looking after for the akhirah. The people, idol worshippers, their love and their benefit is only for the worldly things. They are looking, we are poor, we want money, or we are hungry, we want food, we haven't got these things, we are praying to these idols to provide this. But the mu'min and Muslims, they are loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the akhirah. And these people who have been idol worshipping, at the end when they are going to die, they are going to face the azab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whenever these ayah of azab comes, you have to say, Allahumma mahfazna min. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, save us from your azab. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. استبر الذين اتبعوا من الذين اتبعوا ورأوا العذاب وتقطعت بهم الأسباب. Seeing the punishment, the leaders will disown their followers, and all relations which now unite them will be cut off. These people who used to worship some important people and used to listen to what they say, when they are going to face the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment, they are going to say, these are the people who misguided us, so punish them, don't punish us. But those people, then when they are going to see this thing, they say, it's nothing to do with us. You decided to worship and obey us. You follow our orders with your own free will. We did not force you to do. Then they are going to move away from those. وقال الذين اتبعوا لو أن لنا كرة فنتبرأ منهم كما تبرأوا منا كذلك يريهم الله أعمالهم حسرات عليهم وما هم بخارجين من النار. Those who followed them will say, if only we had one more chance, we would disown them as they have now disowned us. Thus Allah will show them their own works as source of regret for them, and they shall never come out of the fire. These are the things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning, and these are the things we are going to see on the day of judgment ourselves. This is going to be shown to all the mankind, what the people have done in this world, what the calamities, the problems they created. They caused so much trouble, bloodshed, and zulm, and lots of calamities in this world. We are going to see all these things being punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment, inshallah. Now, يا أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. O mankind, eat of what is lawful and good on the earth, and do not follow Satan's footstep, for he is your open enemy. This is, we discussed before as well, what is halal and what is haram, which is allowed for us to eat, which is not allowed for us to eat. We discussed in details in the past. إنما يأمركم بالسوء والفحشاء وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون. For the commands you, what shaitan commands you, what is evil, and that you should speak against Allah what you do not know. This is again, this is from shaitan. He is forcing us to do things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained clearly for us, what is halal and what is haram. But still, if you want to follow the shaitan, then you are going to be punished for it. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ قَالُوا بَلْ نَتَّبِعُ مَا أَلْفَيْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا أَوَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاؤُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ. When it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, they say, we will follow the way of our fathers, even though their fathers had no understanding of anything and were lacking in guidance. The shan and nuzul of these ayah is the background, is that when Bani Israel were told this is halal and this is haram, and the mushrikeen said this is halal and haram, they said, no, we don't want to listen to you. We want to follow what our forefathers used to do. If you know Bani Israel, if you just go to page number 97, please. Ayah number is 93, page 97. كل الطعام كان حلا لبني إسرائيل إلا ما حرم إسرائيل على نفسه من قبل أن تنزل التوراة قل فأتوا بالتوراة فاتلوها إن كنتم صادقين. This is about Israel. Israel is Yaqub alayhi salam's title, and he had arthritis of both the knee joints. And it was so painful, he could not do anything. So he made a commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you clear my disease, I love the meat of camel so much, I will make it haram for me. I'll give the eating of meat of camel if you clear my arthritis. So the next day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cleared his arthritis. He was walking properly, and he said, from today onwards I'm not going to eat the meat of camel. So he made this thing for himself. But he didn't ask everybody to follow, but because he stopped, everybody thought that this is the ruling from Allah to stop eating, and the Bani Israel stopped eating. When Rasulullah came and became a prophet, he said, I am the prophet, I have come, and he's following all the prophets, the wahi came to him, and so on and so forth. They say, how can you be a prophet and you are eating the meat of camel? Because the prophet don't eat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that it is not we made them, the Bani Israel, not to eat, but only Yaqub alayhi salam made for himself not to eat. That's why this is saying that when they were told this is they said, no, we don't want to listen to you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We want to follow our elders and our forefathers, what they did. In Banu Saqif, Bani Khaza'a, they made the dates and the cheese. They said this is haram for us. They made their own, and then the whole tribe used to follow the same tradition. They said no, dates is prohibited for us, and the cheese is prohibited. So they never eat. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that don't make your own judgments. You just follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal, and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the halal and haram is not for anybody else to decide, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Even Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam cannot decide what is halal and haram, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is decide. In Surah At-Tahrim, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam made saying that, okay, the honey is haram for me, I'm not going to have honey from tomorrow. Then suddenly Surah At-Tahrim was revealed, saying that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal, you cannot make haram for yourself. Okay. وَمَثَلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا كَمَثَلِ الَّذِي يَنْعِقُ بِمَا لَا يَسْمَعُ إِلَّا دُعَاءً وَنِدَاءً وَصُمٌّ بُكْمٌ عُمْيٌ فَهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. The unbelievers are like those whom one calls but hears nothing except a shout and a cry. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum washkuru lillahi in kuntum iyyahu ta'budun. O believers, eat of the good things with which we have provided you, and give thanks to Allah if it is Him you worship. Okay? إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل به لغير الله فمن اضطر غير باغ ولا عاد فلا إثم عليه إن الله غفور رحيم. here explanation, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, what He has made haram is this only. Inna harama alaykum maitada. He has forbidden you carrion, the dead animal which you haven't slaughtered, that the dead meat, and the blood, and the flesh of swine, and also any flesh that is concerted other than in the name of Allah. So we know what it is limited things which are made haram for us. The rest is all halal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kindness. If He has said only 5 things are allowed for you to eat, the rest is haram, means then you have to be choosing only 5 things to eat. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says only 5 things are haram, the rest is all. So it's the slaughter, if somebody slaughters an animal for an idol or somebody's name, then that is also, it's not allowed for us to eat. That is haram for us. After giving this, if a person has no food for 3-4 days, nothing else, and he is about to die because of hunger or lack of food, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the haram halal for him just to survive. This is, if there is the meat of pig is there and somebody has not eaten for 3-4 days and he's dying because of hunger, he can choose a piece to eat so that he might survive. This is allowed only for the survival. But after that mouthful or 2 mouthful is taken, he cannot keep eating that. Oh no, I like the taste, I would like to finish the whole meat. No, only for survival. Then if that is the case, if you eat which is haram for you just to survive, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna Allaha Ghafurur Rahim. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind, He is going to forgive you for eating the haram just to survive. إن الذين يكتمون ما أنزل الله من الكتاب ويشترون به ثمنا قليلا أولئك ما يأكلون في بطونهم إلا النار ولا يكلمهم الله يوم القيامة ولا يزكيهم ولهم عذاب أليم. This ayah or similar meaning we have gone through before, that the Bani Israel, the ulama of the Bani Israel used to take money to change the Torah. They used to make alteration according to the leaders, or the person is in power, or the king, if he used to say, no, oh, I don't want to follow this, can you do it? And then they used to go and remove this ayah from the Torah and write according to what pleases the king. And the king used to reward them a lot of money, give them property and money and gold and so on and so forth, because they changed the Torah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you have just accepted some money just for a few days pleasure, and then you are going, what you are getting from the money and what you are eating, you are putting the fire in your stomach. أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى والعذاب بالمغفرة فما أصبرهم على النار. And these are the people who have bought error in place of guidance and torture in place of forgiveness. How constant are they to reach the fire? اللهم احفظنا. ذلك بأن الله نزل الكتاب بالحق وإن الذين اختلفوا في الكتاب لفي شقاق بعيد. This is because Allah has revealed the book with the truth. Those that disagree about it are far away in opposition. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from calamities and from the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Guide us. Now the one good thing is that the scholars of this Muslim Ummah cannot make any changes what the Bani Israel did to the Torah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken the responsibility of the preservation of this book. Inna nahnu nazzalna zikra wa inna lahu lahafizun. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken the responsibility. He has not taken the responsibility to preserve any other books revealed before. That's why they were changed. But for this book, this is the last revelation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken the responsibility to preserve the authenticity of this book. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.